about 12:50 a.m., March 10th, 2023. I'm exhausted today. I can't wait to jump into bed. But before I do that, I'm going to follow through with my commitments, share with you a daily thought, one that's going to be a continuation of what we discussed yesterday regarding choosing and playing our profession. Now, the profession that I chose in this game of life, the path that suits me the most and one that I enjoy doing every single day, and that has to do with being an entrepreneur. Now, it took me a long time to finally commit and go out there and build my own business and go out there and continue to build and fail businesses over and over and over again until I learn what I need to learn and finally start succeeding after I've implemented the things that I've learned. Now, answering the question of what do I do? Okay, yesterday's video, I spoke about playing the game as an entrepreneur. Today, let's talk about what I actually do in terms of my business as an entrepreneur. So at this point in time, at this point in the recording, I am the co-founder. I am also the head of digital infrastructure for a company called Cannabis Warehouse Australia. We provide technology and we provide the tools for pharmacies to supply and dispense medicinal cannabis with ease here in Australia. Now, I can get into the nitty-gritty, the specifics of what my business actually does, but that will come in a future video. But for this video, I just want to tell a little bit more about the backstory, because I think the backstory of how I got here and how my life has gone full circle to be doing what I'm doing right now is an important piece of information. Because as this player playing this character in this game, from the early stages of our gaming experience, we learn things and how this game works, how the world works, how the universe works. If you're really paying attention, you will see that everything is connected. All the stuff that you've experienced in the past somehow still shows up in your day-to-day life today. My life is living proof of that, and I just want to share my personal experience and the thoughts that I have regarding what I currently do at Cannabis Warehouse. So growing up, playing this game, living life with my family, all right? I grew up being exposed to the cannabis industry at a very young age. Now, my brothers, my parents even, they got involved in the cannabis industry from, back then would be known as the black market, the illegal market. Now where Canada is at, cannabis is recreational. It's legal. So I don't have any problems sharing this story. Now, growing up from the ages of 8 to 10, that was the time where I got exposed to what was actually going on within my family. And from the ages of 8 all the way to 17, 18, when I was ready to leave the nest and go build myself and go earn money on my own, leading up to those ages, my mom would always tell me not to get involved in anything drug related, not to get involved in the businesses that my brothers and even my father got involved in, because she was afraid that I would walk down the same path. So throughout my adulthood, up until maybe about 2 years ago, that was the limiting belief that I had, that I wasn't going to walk the same path as my brothers and my father, that I wasn't going to get involved in the things that my mom told me that was bad for me. Okay, so I pushed a lot of things away. I pushed a lot of my past, my history away, and I never addressed it until 2 years ago when, I just spoke to existence. I spoke out loud. I said, you know what? It's a shame that I don't know much about my family history. Maybe it's time I talk to my brothers to understand a little bit more about the cannabis industry, because at that time, around 2020, 2021, okay, I was smoking a lot of weed. I was a heavy consumer of cannabis. I've been a cannabis user for 10 plus years. And deep down, I knew that cannabis was helping me. It was helping with my lower back pain. It was helping me stay focused. So I did have an interest in cannabis. Now, because I opened up my mind to cannabis, the opportunity started to come into my life. The right people started to present themselves, and the opportunity to get into business in the medicinal cannabis industry showed up in 2021. And of course, me having a history with cannabis growing up, to me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. So when it comes to what I do, yes, being an entrepreneur, the last 6.5 years have been the most challenging times of my life. And I know the challenges aren't going to stop. There's going to be more problems ahead of me. But because I went through the last 6.5 years, I've opened up my mind to what is possible in business. I did a lot of work on my personal self, my physical health, my mental health, my spiritual health, because I focused on all those things. And for the last 6.5 years, I went through a lot of pain, a lot of struggle, a lot of hardship. Through all of that pain and hardship, you learn things about yourself. And because I learned things about myself, it made the decision so much easier to get involved when the opportunity presented itself. So in terms of what I do, being involved in the medicinal cannabis space, it's almost as if it was meant to happen. Growing up, being exposed at such a young age, being told not to get near anything like that ever again, I held that belief and that truth my entire life, not knowing that the obstacle was the way the entire time, not knowing that just because my family told me not to, didn't mean that I didn't have the choice to go down the same path. And because I got to observe my brothers, because I got to observe my family get involved in the industry, make mistakes, I got to learn from their lessons. And now that I'm involved in the industry, I'm playing the game so much differently than how they played it. So if I'm to take a step back from this entire experience and just observe this character right here going through this game, it's as if this path that this character has been on so far was meant to happen. Okay, and he didn't realize that this is the opportunity that he created. He wouldn't have realized that if he didn't continuously work on himself, work on his overall health. Because when you work on your overall health, you clear up space within your mind to really process the information that's coming your way. So I'm speaking from a third-person objective because that's how I've been treating this entire experience. As I mentioned, I'm the player playing the character. When I communicate to myself and I have this type of conversation, I like to step out of myself and just observe Kenny. Because when I observe Kenny, everything makes sense. Everything that Kenny has gone through so far has led to this exact moment right here. Now, all of the work that's been done over the last 3 years, there's going to be a lot more work to come. But the last 3 years, focusing on my overall health, becoming more self-aware, the fact that I became more self-aware of my reality, my existence, I'm observing what's happening in the external world, I'm observing what's happening in my personal world, my own reality. I'm starting to find things that I see, that doesn't sit well with me in terms of my gaming experience. Because in this game, there are systems, there are rules that you have to follow. And when you start going through the systems and you start going through the rules and you are self-aware, you start becoming aware of the gaps and the flaws within the system and the rules. So, right timing, right place. I became aware of the existing systems of our worlds, whether it's healthcare, education, technology, politics, financials, entertainment, whatever system you want to choose. I was honed in on the health system. I was honed in on the pharmaceutical industry, the pharmaceutical system. My focus has been on that because I care about my personal health. I've been taking care of my body consistently over the last 4.5 years because without taking care of my body, I wouldn't become aware of this. So I learned how to value all of this. I learned how to value my overall health because I understood that if I took care of my overall health, I would have a better gaming experience. And because I took care of my overall health and I'm having a better gaming experience, I'm becoming aware of the things, the systems, the rules that are currently in play that are hindering. And because I'm becoming aware of the existing systems, I'm becoming aware of the rules, I'm becoming aware of the flaws within the systems and the rules, I'm noticing and I'm realizing the things within these systems that are hindering the progression of my experience, okay, the progression of this game. And one of which is the healthcare space. So me becoming aware of the healthcare system, becoming aware that there's something wrong with it, and then the opportunity of an alternative medicine like cannabis presenting itself. It's like a match made in heaven. It's like this entire experience, I was supposed to go through it. I was supposed to go through the hardship the last 6.5 years to meet the right people, to build and fail multiple businesses until I landed upon the opportunity that I was seeking for the entire time. And it just so happens to be in the field of medicinal cannabis. And it just so happens that I grew up being exposed to cannabis. And it just so happens that I have an interest and a passion in making a difference in the healthcare space because I value my own personal health. Okay, so everything is interconnecting. What I do, how I'm playing this game, the profession that I chose, being an entrepreneur, building businesses, and now, building a cannabis business, it all just makes sense. So I hope what I shared there gives you guys a little bit more insight on what I do. I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, I'm a player playing this character. My profession is an entrepreneur. I'm building a business within the medicinal cannabis space, something that I've had experience with growing up. All right? And now caring about one of the systems, which is healthcare. And I want to make a difference in healthcare. And this cannabis business that I'm in is going to make that difference because people are going to see, if they haven't already, the benefits of a plant medicine like marijuana, like cannabis, and eventually like mushrooms and psilocybin. We've got a long way to go. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still learning, but I'm just listening to that voice inside my head. I'm following my intuition, and I'm just playing the game. I'm doing the best that I can do every single day to improve this character, to take care of the health of this character, to learn new skills, to learn new abilities, to continue to be more aware of how my reality is unfolding and realizing that I am the player playing this character and I am in control of how I experience this game of life. So that's all I got for tonight. All right, that's what I do. Okay, I own and operate a business called Cannabis Warehouse Australia here in Melbourne, Australia. We're going to create a lot of change in the world, and I'll talk a little bit more on that in a future video. But for now, take care. Thank you for watching. Welcome to Transformative Thoughts. My name is Kenny, and this is where I talk a lot about self-development. I talk a lot about business, about entrepreneurship, about philosophy, about spirituality, because those are the things I'm interested in, and those are the things that trigger my thoughts on a day-to-day basis, because they are the things I currently care about in my life, and it's the path, the vehicles that I am using to progress in this game of life. So until then, take care. Catch you in the next video. Have a good night.